Gran, I need to sleep, you mumble, rolling over as Grandma tries to shake you awake. You can't have been asleep for more than an hour or two. You've been out cold for 13 hours, Grandma says, poking you again. Don't make me bring DeMilo in here. Ignoring Grandma, you generate an energy shield around your bed and settle deeper into your pillow. Fine, I suppose the 3 DVR will save your first appearance on Hero Line. Grandma's voice is muffled through your shield, so you're sure you've misheard her as she leaves your room. What are you? You start dropping the shield. You and that black magician character seem rather chummy. Hearing this, you jolt out of bed and run into the living room. 2 rookie heroes received the opportunity of a lifetime last night as they pitched in on the Millennial Group's most high-profile case of the year, taking down the once untouchable Splice Circle. Your picture flashes on the 3V screen next to Hero Line's main correspondent, Sherry Saw. You must be hallucinating. Hero Line is one of MC's top gossip shows. What do you want to know most about this smashing mission? Sherry asks, as interactive 3D touch options pop out of the screen. You turn to Grandma. Don't look at me, she says, beaming. This is your 3V debut. You choose. The Ineffable. Hero or hack? Newcomer The Ineffable has certainly burst onto MC's hero scene in the past few weeks. First widely known for sabotaging the Gravitas case and suspected of the original Splice Circle murders, The Ineffable was at the top of the heroic blacklist. However, after The Ineffable stepped up to play a key role in shutting down the Splice Circle, the MCPD has cleared The Ineffable of all charges. And with rumors circulating of a steamy potential romance with heartthrob Black Magic, this hero is definitely one to watch. But it still remains to be seen whether The Ineffable is a true hero or just a hack on an unprecedented lucky streak. You watch the 3V, your jaw just about ready to hit the floor. It's certainly a mixed review, but press like that is absolutely invaluable for an aspiring hero. If you keep up the good work, you might even be able to undo the rest of the damage, still spotting up your reputation. Let's look at Splice Circle in disarray. Thanks to the joint efforts of the MCPD, the Millennial Group, and Undercover Fringe's Hero Static, all remaining high-level members of the Splice Circle have been arrested. After such a devastating blow, the organization seems to be scrambled beyond repair, concluding a near-decade-long reign of terror in the eastern fringes. Additionally, reports of Anagang violence have decreased by nearly 50% since the Splice fall, and the breakup of a recent turf rumble performed by a slew of anonymous heroes. You smile, knowing that both accomplishments are in large part thanks to your efforts. And thankfully there's no mention of the S that was burned into Madame Vice's corpse. The authorities were very careful not to release any images of her body. The last thing anyone wants are rumors circulating that Smither's indeed alive. For the moment, everyone hopes Vice's murder was the work of a loyalist copycat, obviously equipped with some speedy teleportation powers. And, what the hell? I'll look at this one too, even though I don't much care about the reserve spot. Rumor has it that a fierce rivalry is brewing between rookie heroes Jury and the Ineffable. Apparently some heated words were exchanged between the two post-mission, which is understandable considering it's widely known that the Ineffable usurped Jury's spot in the Gravitas case, a move many believed led to the unnecessary destruction of the valuable artifact. Now it seems the two would-be heroes are in direct competition for an open reserve member position in the Millennial Group. You think back to the end of the mission, after all the press and police had cleared. Rebellion patted you on the shoulder and said, "Following us and crashing our mission like that showed some real gumption, kid. I have to admit it. Still, it doesn't make you much of a team player. I'm not sure you're meant for the group lifestyle, but I'm going to keep you in the running anyway. We'll let you know in a few days." You can just imagine how that vote will look, with Black Magic vouching for you and Fistful and Monk discrediting you in any way they can. You definitely don't like the idea of disappointing Rebellion, but you're still not sure if you want to be on any team, even one as prestigious as the Millennial Group. Did working with the team on the Splice mission do anything to change your mind? Nah, I always work better solo. It's a great opportunity, but you got all this press because you broke the team rules, not because you followed them. You're goddamn right! Fuck yeah! You're going to make it to the top, all on your own. I've watched enough for now. You hit the mute button, overwhelmed by what you've just seen. That was unreal. You were on 3V. Although it's not quite as glamorous as you always imagined it would be all these years, it's definitely a moment to remember. You turn to Grandma, who seems just as overwhelmed. She grips you in a monster hug. "I always knew you had what it takes," Grandma says. "Now you go get washed up because I'm cooking you the biggest brunch of your life to celebrate." As Grandma hurries into the kitchen, you make your way back toward your room, still feeling rather dazed. Inside your room, Meatship J2 beats with several alerts. But before you open any of them, J2 is... This was the best This was the best decision I have made in this entire game. Print screen. Print screen. Make sure it captures. As I accidentally press scroll lock. Yes! Gonna have to share that one with J2 as well. I like the way you work it, Grimith. MGJ. No dignity. Aw, thanks, J2, you think? I'm so excited I won't even shade you for not introducing me to that fine piece of machinery processor. Next time, I promise, you think. Just hoping that there will be a next time. Moving on, you open the alerts and are greeted by a me card sent to your The Ineffable account from Static, who appears to be fully healed after his ordeal with the Splice Circle. His short dreadlocks are the only things showing from under his all-black costume, which is covered in dozens of technological enhancements and weapons. I can't thank you enough for rescuing me and helping to shut down the circle, he says, waving at you from the holographic card. If you ever need anything, don't hesitate to ask. We Fringe's heroes have to stick together, after all. You immediately save the me card to your hero space, the Ineffable page. In all the craziness, you almost forgot that you were the one to save Static from Loli after Black Magic and Processor went down. That's right, damn it. Thinking back, you really can't believe how well things went. You did some real good and boosted your heroic reputation at the same time. But what do you consider your greatest accomplishment from the night? The lives I saved while fighting the Splice Circle? I mean, how much did I really do? Salvaging my heroic reputation and reaching a new level of notoriety? Improving conditions in the Eastern Fringes by shutting down the Circle's operations? The prestige of working with an A-list team like the Millennial Group? Or the opportunity to learn from legendary heroes? I'm a bit torn between the first two options here. I don't really care about the others. Let's look at the character here. Cares more about fame than anything else. Cares more about fame than anything else. With the choices I've selected thus far. I think, because he cares more about fame than anything else, that's going to determine my judgment for me. While salvaging my heroic reputation and reaching a new level of... Excuse me. I completely fucking misordered these options. Let's try that again and pretend that I didn't make that mistake. Yes, I did save lives. And saving lives and helping people does matter to me. But more than that was salvaging my heroic reputation. After the Gravitas case, I had been thoroughly framed, and my hopes and dreams of being a hero were thoroughly crushed. The ability to follow in the footsteps of my parents and redeem them, it was all at risk. And so I needed this case. I needed to perform in this case to salvage that, because I may not have gotten another chance to do that. The lives, that's great. That's a secondary option. That's a popular option. That's the option you tell people in public. Yes, I saved people. I made a difference. But in my heart, in order for me to save even more people, I needed to rebuild myself, rehabilitate my image. As you continue to scroll through your alerts, you find you have to sit down as you open the next one, a paycheck from the Millennial Group. Enclosed is a me check for your work with the Millennial Group. You look over the check, which is listed with the standard work-for-hire rate for approved mission assists, $1,000. That's quite a bit of money for one mission. You can't even begin to imagine what actual group members must get paid. Then you nearly faint as you read the bottom of the me check. Additionally, you have received a legend bonus of $2,000. You had heard certain powered teams gave mission bonuses based on legend levels, but you always thought that was just a myth. Then another thought occurs to you. After last night, your legend level must have gone up. After pressing the deposit button on the me check, you open your heroic license and check your legend level, which has risen to 39. It looks like your legend has gotten quite a boost as word of your recent success spread. Even better, it appears you got an extra boost for finishing the mission with such a high power level remaining, and an additional boost for finishing with a high health level as well. Ecstatic, you click the link to the Hero Legend Meter website to see how you're doing. For this point in your career, your legend level is above average. Congratulations on making excellent heroic decisions thus far. Keep up the good work. Legend prize unlocked. Woo! Let's spend the money. Get some thin tubes that collect and channel excess energy for shielding purposes. This defensively suited upgrade allowed you to generate shields at half the power cost. After throwing on some clothes, you make your way back to the kitchen, ready to reward yourself with an unhealthy amount of food. Alright! That's speaking to my stomach right there. That is true gourmand Grimith in action. As you enter the kitchen, you're quite stunned to hear three voices shout, "Surprise!" Sitting in front of a massive, meaty brunch fest are Grandma, Jenny, and Tarana Rain, the shimmer tree shaking loose behind them. You smile, happy to see your little makeshift family gathered here on such a happy day. Until you realize that, thanks to Grandma, Tarana Rain now knows your secret identity. You never wanted to see Tarana Rain again, and now she's in your kitchen. Fantastic. What on earth was Grandma thinking? Notice that this option completely grayed out. Grandma, can I have a word, you ask, trying to fight a frown. Oh, Grimith, Grandma says. You'll have to forgive me. My throat is getting sore. This is not the only reading I've done today. Wiping her hands on her apron. Tarana Rain is our guest, and I trust her completely. After all, she saved your life. And we've had a nice long chat about the importance of keeping your secret identity, haven't we? It's in part why I'm reading so quickly. I do want to see more of the game, but my throat, unfortunately, will not be able to take much more of this today. And I also cannot recall the voice I had for the sidekick. Oh, yes, we have, Tarana Rain says in the most... Oh, yes, we have, Tarana Rain says in the most polite voice. I'm very good at keeping secrets. Tarana Rain winks at you, and your hands curl into fists. What the slugger was Grandma thinking? That's not the appropriate voice for her. Maybe it was my voice for Victim? Can't remember that either. Inviting this brat into your home. You plan on having quite the word with her later. I mean, I could look up in the prior videos, or I could just make up new voices. Who needs consistency? That's for yogurt. After consuming more food than you thought humanly possible, Jenny pats you on the back. All right, this was lovely, but I've got to get going, she says. I do have a little congratulatory present for you, though. What's this, you ask, as she hands you a slip of paper, so old school, with an address scribbled on it. I dug up all I could on Prodigy, Jenny says. I'm sad to say there isn't a whole lot out there. All I could find was that address, which is registered under the name Prodigy. It's not much. Ha! That doesn't sound like a trap at all. But it's a start, you finish, knowing this is the perfect time to start looking into Prodigy, especially after Madame Vice's mysterious murder. I think I just figured out what I'm doing for the day. Grandma coughs, nodding directly at Tarana Rain. What you both are doing for the day? If I must. You stand up and walk out of the kitchen, not wanting to see anyone's reaction to your less than warm reception of Tarana Rain. 10 minutes later, as you and Tarana Rain fly across the border of the eastern fringes, you catch the smallest trace of a flash in your peripheral vision. Sonya. You didn't see a flash like this at all last night, so you weren't sure whether Sonya was still following you. Obviously she is, and she must have some pretty advanced camouflaging abilities to boot. Your heart quickens a bit, excited at the prospect of another press appearance. You could definitely start getting used to these. Though the fact that Sonya can be watching you at any time without your knowledge is quite jarring. You just hope that, no matter what, she keeps her promise not to reveal your secret identity. On the fly ride over, Tarana Rain does not stop asking questions about her idol, the diva, in between chugs from her flask no less. After recounting the color of the diva's lipstick, which you made up, you finally arrive at the address, which is all the way up on MC's northern shore near the shipyard docks. It's located in the middle of several warehouses and appears to be a very large storage space, with no windows and only one door, which makes your options for entrance rather limited. You and Tarana Rain land next to the front entrance. Yo, spazoid, Tarana Rain grunts. You do realize walking through the front door will definitely lead to a trap, right? If there's a stealthier option, you say, I'm happy to follow your lead. Tarana Rain has no answer, so you turn back toward the door. There's a massive electronic lock on it with a password screen, but you assume the code will be impossible to crack. How do you want to break in? I don't want to ask the sidekick for help. And, I mean, we might as well just try. Don't have to, brute force everything. Let's just go ahead and give it a fucking spin. You look down at the lock screen and see that, oddly enough, there's a jumble of letters. Could figuring out the password be as simple as unscrambling them? No. Suddenly the lock clears and the door pops open. Looks like you were right. Though that felt way too simple, you think, as you step inside. But then as you enter the warehouse, you gasp at what you find inside. No. Oh, this is so a fucking trap. This is so a trap. Shelf upon shelf of unactivated pool killer robots, the same ones sent by the Splice Circle after you and Black Magic. There must be thousands lining the shelves in this warehouse. Your mind begins to race. What does Prodigal have to do with these pool killers? Did she supply them to Madame Vice as a peace offering? Or did Madame Vice just put Prodigal's name on the building deed to frame her out of revenge? Then you consider how, if these robots were suddenly to activate, you and Tarana Rain would be completely outnumbered. You and Black Magic had trouble handling 4 of these things, let alone 4,000. You hope that the Millennial Group shutting down the pool killer mainframe at Aces High last night put these things out of commission. But everything else clears from your mind when you see a massive sign in the back of the warehouse that reads, "The Artillery." Your blood runs cold. This Artillery is the name of the heroine who your parents killed. What the slugger? Could that really just be a bizarre coincidence? Or is someone out there toying with the ineffable? Tarana Rain says, tugging on your arm. I want to get out of here. This doesn't feel right. So, the endgame avatar here is not as, quick-witted and swift of mind as I am. Yes, just a bizarre coincidence. Or maybe it's just because I'm so genre-savvy. Surely the Prodigal could not be in any way related to Miss Artillery, right? Like a daughter, or like a niece, or a much younger sister, or even a polymorphed Miss Artillery who faked her death, or even like a clone of Miss Artillery who's disguised herself. Yeah. I'm dangerously genre-savvy here compared to my in-game avatar. It's something I suspected, that Prodigal was in some way connected to Miss Artillery, and this definitely confirms it for me. You can't help but agree. A deep pit of dread overtook your stomach the moment you stepped into this place. You'd like nothing more than to get the hell out of here, but you know there's work to be done. I know, you say, but I need to check for clues. While I look around, you get clear of the building and call, Black Magic. Jenny can't save me against these things. Don't care about rebellion. Black Magic can. Call Black Magic. All right, Tarana Rain says, but what if those things come to life? You turn to look over the gleaming metal cores of the dormant pool killers, deadly tentacles wrapped around their bases. And let's just hope we fly faster than they do. Once Tarana Rain is clear, you creep farther into the warehouse, looking for anything that might lead you to finding Prodigal. Your mind just won't stop spinning. Something about all this is very, very wrong. That's why my character has chosen to wander around here alone. So wrong that you don't even notice as a soft strip of fabric slides around. Are you fucking kidding me? Fucking what? At first, a warm feeling overcomes you, almost like slipping into a blanket. It isn't until 2 new strands of pearly ivory fabric wrap around your arms that you snap out of it. You spin to find an enchanting, yet eerie figure standing about 10 feet from you. The creature looks almost human, but somehow more ethereal. He, at least you think it's a he, is bone-thin and wrapped in never-ending silken strands of fabric, wisping as if in the wind. He looks like some kind of sheer mannequin mummy. You can't help but get lost in the movement of the fabric, which billows like flowing water. But somewhere, deep inside, an instinct screams in your head. Fight back. Okay. So charging some marbles for my belts and the bombs doesn't really sound like that helpful, because my arms are currently wrapped here. Fly spinning to unravel this wisping mannequin. I have no idea how the fuck that... let's just try and send a energy charge rippling through the fabric strands. You try to move your arms. Okay, I guess that also involves arm movement. Or maybe I picked the wrong option there. Or maybe this was just an extra power tag. So what the fuck do I know, right? Well, all I know is that, son of a bitch, it didn't work. But the moment you do, the fabric constricts even more tightly around your body. You know, that's something that I'm currently like wagging my finger at the monitor. I don't know how many of these option choices like have a meaningful consequence here, and how many of these are like, we'll present you with a series of options, and all it does is change the flavor text a little bit, but ultimately has little to no impact upon the game. Like, we have our mechanics and guts here on show stats here that shows that some of our options actually are making a difference. And we've seen situations where answer choices have been grayed out. I do not know how our story has changed because of the because of the choices I've selected. Like, I don't know how, like, teaming up with the millennial group would be. Versus, you know, not team. Fuck if I know. Whatever. At any rate, justice is in single digits. How about that? So our health got wrecked there. Power, was that at default? I mean, I guess I got healed after sleeping at Grandma's. I guess. That's nice. I thought about that. Welp. At any rate, you scream as the fabric squeezes against your bones, though it's not a scream of pain. Even though your skin blisters from the constriction, the sensation feels almost like scratching an itch, or sneezing. As the fabric's hold grows tighter, the fielding builds into something closer to pleasure. Pleasure. And when your bones finally do crack, it feels like an explosion. Your whole body quivers with shockwaves of satisfaction. It's the best feeling you've ever had. Well, that's kind of awkward, and I think that ruins me for anyone else. And as suddenly as the feeling started, it stops. You open your eyes to find Tarana Rain blasting the wisp with a concentrated stream of water. The wisp recoils from the attack, beginning to reel in his strands, and as they leave your body, jolts of excruciating pain begin to rocket through you. The wisp's fabric must have had some kind of poisonous effect on your nerve endings, because once the strips are fully gone, you feel the crush of it all. Your broken arm and leg bones, your splintered ribcage, your shattered hips. Within seconds, you begin to black out, overwhelmed by the unimaginable pain. The moment before you do, you manage to clear your brain enough to scream, "Tarana Rain! Don't hold back!" Then everything goes black. You find yourself in a dream, jumping up into the sky, climbing higher and higher, until fear grips you. What will happen when you stop rising? How will you stop yourself from falling? Can you even fly anymore? As you drift into a bank of clouds, the fear wells up in your stomach. Until finally you begin to plummet down to the ground, picking up speed as you fall, the ground racing up to meet you. Sometime later. When you finally open your eyes again, you grind your teeth together, bracing for a fresh wave of pain. But all you feel is sore, like you've just run a marathon. Wait, how are you even opening your eyes to begin with? That wisp thing broke almost every bone in your body. Shouldn't you be... Tarana Rain, where is she? Is she alive? You bolt upright, causing a nasty head rush that clouds your vision. You rub your eyes. When you can finally see again, you find both the wisp and Tarana Rain lying on the ground next to you. "Oh, slugger," you say, rushing to Tarana Rain's side as fast as your sore body will take you. "Please don't be dead, please don't be..." Tarana Rain's eyes flutter open just as you reach her side. "Did it work?" Tarana Rain croaks, looking exhausted. "What did you do?" "I heard you screaming, so I didn't make the call and came back inside instead." "You fool, you didn't make the call!" "I saw that thing attacking you, so I hit it hard and knocked it out. You were in such bad shape, but I've never healed anyone before. Still, you were about to die." "Whatever you did, it worked," you say. "Looks like I can generate some kind of healing water," Tarana Rain says, grimacing. "Though you don't want to know where the secretion comes from." I can only... Well, I can only stand it for a couple of seconds before passing out. One evolutionary side effect of powered individuals is that they are not only tougher than normal humans, they also tend to have healing properties to their powers, like you do. It's a good thing Mother Nature foresaw increasing violence accompanying the addition of powers, otherwise powered heroes will be dying far more often. Though knowing how strenuous healing can be, you're not surprised that Tarana Rain passed out. You're just thankful that she went the extra mile. "That's twice you saved my life," you say. "It was nothing," Tarana Rain says, trying to hide her satisfaction. Then, for a moment, a worried look comes over Tarana Rain's face, almost as if she's considering something terrible. "Are you all right?" As you say this, she seems to snap out of it, nodding at you. So you move on. We can ask questions later. Let's make sure the thing's dead, right? Reach over, like fucking snap its neck, make sure that shit never happens again. I don't know. No. How bad off are we? You know. Fucking, you know. You know. It's not a big deal. Looks like my relationship with my sidekick has gone up. How about, let's just get going. Tarana Rain needs to get home, and you need to talk to Jenny about what to do next. But suddenly your meat ship buzzes with a call. Before J2 even has a chance to ask if you want to answer, black magic appears in holographic form, evidently having placed an urgent priority call. The ineffable, please help, black magic screams. Get to the headquarters now! With that, the call goes dead. You try to call back, but get immediately bumped to hollow mail. You turn to Tarana Rain, your adrenaline already pumping. Can you get home on your own? I want to go home now, and I promise I'll introduce you to the Millennial Group later. But if you follow, I'll just pretend you're a deranged stalker fan. It may be harsh, but if someone as powerful as black magic is really in trouble, it's bound to be serious. You can't be putting Tarana Rain in yet another dangerous situation. So you take to the sky, leaving her to pout. Next chapter, the room. Ugh, my health is trashed. At least I got power. I have to see whether I can actually be of any damn use. I'm so fucked. So fucked. Alright. I mean, I'll probably be fine. I mean, I'm probably fine. It'll probably give me one of those options like convert power into health. It'll be good. Oh boy.